One thing so many spiritual seekers and people on the spiritual path are struggling with is, in actuality, the fact that they're human. I encounter so many people and have so many conversations with wonderful souls who voice that one of their number one sufferings or battles is actually the battle between their human self and their spirit self, or the one who they really are. And today, in this episode, I want to help you find and come to terms with the fact that you're human, find peace within it and make peace with it, and actually see how there is a misperception in this construct, in this way of thinking, that there is the human self and then there is the real self. And I understand why so many people are confused about this, because there are teachers out there, there are spiritual, even gurus, spiritual teachers, who say sentences like, you are not a human being, you are spirit, you are God, you are a divine being. But by saying, and maybe they mean it in the right way, but the sentence that if they say, or when they say, you're not a human being, that sentence can be misperceived and can be very confusing to people. And I want to rephrase this, and I want to put it into a correct perspective, which is actually an accurate perspective, because it is not true that you're not a human being. Yes, it is true you're so much more. Yes, it is true you are the I am. Yes, it is true you are all. There is only one, the law of one. You are everything. And so you are not just a human being. But teachers saying, or you believing you're not a human being, is like saying, I know I'm God, but I'm not this. Like, I know I'm all, but I'm not this human being. I'm not this construct. I'm not this personality. Where in fact, you are all this, but you're also so much more. So, how to reconcile this is by viewing everything as one, but also viewing each aspect as a valid aspect. This is like saying, some people saying, well, this life is an illusion and your character is made up, and it's like you dreaming a dream, but you're the dreamer. You're not the character in the dream. Right? So when you wake up, you know, okay, this was only an illusion, this was only a dream, but I'm the dreamer in a real life. Now, in that, again, this can be very confusing, and maybe this is what you have struggled with as well, like so many other people for so long. Because then you wake up and then what? You recognize, I am the dreamer. But you're not just the dreamer, and there is this dream as a thing that you had, and things happened in the dream where you know they are illusions, and you're the dreamer. You are also the dream. You're also the story in the dream. You're also the thought of the one waking up and lying in bed. You're also the bed the dreamer is waking up in. You're the room, you're the universe. So it helps finding peace in the fact that you're human by, number one, realizing that yes, you are, and there is no escaping from it, which means even the most enlightened human being, the most enlightened incarnate soul on earth, is still incarnate in a human perspective, body, perception, manifestation. So you are a human manifestation of the divine. So what we do not need to do is escape being human in order to be who and what we are. Because being human, a human, manifested right now in this perspective, with this focused energy, is being part of the Creator, is being one perspective, or having assumed one perspective of it all. So it's not diminishing, it's not either or. We don't have to choose. Do I choose the perspective of the human being, or do I choose the perspective of the divine? Because there is nothing outside of the divine. Every little human aspect of you, and may it feel very animalistic, very low vibe, very negative, very basic, it doesn't matter, is part of the divine, is part of the one I am. There is nothing that exists outside of it. And therefore, by obtaining a balanced viewpoint and perspective and perception within yourself of the human aspects of you, as well as who you are as the divine Creator, combining these two and holding both as truth, because they are. Now, the question is, how much do you identify with the one or the other? And every seeker's purpose or desire, is it to identify with the source, with its true beingness, with its spiritness. But that does not mean denying the human aspect, the manifested aspect, because everything about you, like the way you think, your patterns, your cells, your body, your voice, everything is manifested source. Is you, spirit you, being manifested. There is no two things. This, what seems material, is who you really are, what you really are. So the key to peace within yourself about being who you are is seeing yourself in all your humanness as the divine manifested. And it's not just the good stuff, it's not just the positive thoughts, the generous thoughts, the so-called positive attributes, right, that you think you might have. It is everything about you, everything about you, and of course everything about everyone else. So it's about not just seeing or like becoming enlightened to who you truly are and holding that perspective, as in, I know I am a spiritual being, I am source energy, but because that can confuse you, because then you have the spiritual life on one hand, and many people have that, and then they have their day-to-day life on the other hand, and they don't even know how to put the two together. It's like there is a conflict going on. And with this episode here, I want to bring peace into this conflict, because the conflict is duality, and duality, we know, is part of this dimension and is part of the learning process. But the real truth is unity. So if duality is part of the illusion that we get to learn from, we can, through the experience of duality, not rejecting duality, I see myself as a human being, but I also know I'm source energy, bringing it into unity. And for some of you, it may start with this concept of, okay, I can understand, my mind can grasp that one is part of the other, but the other thing is the experience. If I'm here as a human being, and I know I'm source energy, then both are true. Then it's just like so simple. Both are true. It's not like I'm either one or the other. And any teaching that suggests you're not a human being, you are a spiritual being, and well, some might say you are a spiritual being having a human experience, but you're still here as a human being. Yes, of course, made in spirit, made of consciousness. Everything is that consciousness that is source. Nothing is outside of it. But there is no conflict. There's only unity. Which means then, how do I deal with my human aspect, with me being human, knowing and so much more? How do I get to actually experience being so much more while still be manifested as a human being with a history, with being born, with a life path, with a certain time, on a certain planet right now? How do I bring those two together? And that is by seeing that what I said earlier, you are a human, you are a human manifestation of the divine source, of the one consciousness, and you get to now choose, and that's what this planet is here for. You get to choose how much you want to express your divine self beingness through this physical experience, in this physical experience. That is your choice, that is your responsibility, that is the path. And we get to choose that. We do not have to reject anything about ourselves. Nothing. And say, I still need to discover this or that. It's about realizing I'm it all. And I'm here, focused right now. But I get to be the divine on planet Earth right now. Because there's nothing else here anyway. There is only the divine. But I get to consciously choose being and embodying, and this is a wonderful word, embodying my divine self, the divine source energy here, through this experience, through this manifestation. So it is about what do you identify with. What is true is you, when you identify yourself only with your physical body, with your name, with your story, with your thoughts, with your emotions, and say, that is me, and that's my truth. Yes, that's you, and that's your truth, and there is no taking away from this, but this is only choosing, that's all it is, a limited perspective of yourself. One that you can take, because everything is perspective. Everything. So you can choose that perspective and you live from that point of view and have your experiences from that point of view and see where it gets you. There's nothing wrong with it. But exploring the greater truth and wanting to experience the greater truth of, no, I'm not my thoughts, meaning you are also your thoughts, you're everything, but I'm not identified with the thoughts. I'm not putting my identification on the thoughts. And I guess that's the other thing. By teachers saying you're not your thoughts, you're not your body, you're not your mind, you're not your... It's only partially true. What they probably mean is, and this is why I'm expressing it like this, so you can actually get clarity on this now, once and for all, you're not... The perspective of identification with your thoughts is untrue. Are you your thoughts? Of course. Your source. Source is everything. So yes, you're also your thoughts. Yes, you're also the thoughts of the other person. Yes, you're also the thought of the universe. You're the thoughts that the sun has. And the thoughts that the sun has are also yours because all is one. So yes, on one level, you are your thoughts. But choosing to identify with them and choosing to only identify with your body, with your thoughts, with your story, with your personality, with your name, is not the truth, because the truth is bigger, and is just choosing a limited perspective. So it is about exploring and recognizing the limitations we put on ourselves. So we can limit ourselves by the perspective of, here is me as a human, and I also aspire to becoming or come in contact with spirit and the spiritual realm and the angelic realm and the divine and the spirit guides. That is one perspective. Or you see it in a more expanded way, as in there is the human, as in manifested divinity. There is the thought, as in half manifested divinity, like on a different level, right, thought form. Then there is the earth, and there is like everything as even a belief system. A belief system, what is it? Repetition of thought and word, and in the end, energy. And what is energy? Consciousness. So this is how you make peace with being human, while knowing who and what you truly are. And this is how you use your incarnation, your humanness, your personality, your talents, your flaws, your weaknesses, to express as the divine and to embody more and more consciously, with desire, with devotion, embody the divine through your human self here on earth.